Shalom, Akim, all praise to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, Bashem Rakah, Kodash, double honesty to the apostles, elders of great millstone. Salute to you, sincere brothers out there of the hopeful elect. All right, and I want to make a quick video dealing with the tribe of Zebulun, all right, and Issachar as well. Through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, because last weekend I seen the movie Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, all right, and it deals a lot with Zebulun in it, man. It deals a lot with the tribe of Zebulun in it because you have the what's known as an anti-hero or the villain of that movie, Namor, who was basically of Mayan. He was basically of Mayan descent when you check that movie out. Right now, you know anything about the Mayan civilization and the Mayan Indians, okay, of Central America? They are the actual people, according to the Bible, as the tribe of Zebulun of the nation of Israel. All right, okay. So they showed you that in that movie, man. They showed you that in Wakanda Forever, that Namor and his people were Mayans who basically mutated into people that were able to breathe underwater or breathe underwater basically, and the word Maya actually means water in the Hebrew. Okay, it actually means waters. All right, so you get the Hebrew word Mayim, which means heavens or the waters. Okay, so it's all spiritual when you really look at it, man. All right, and when you read the prophecy on what will befall the tribe of Zebulun, then you can get an understanding of who these people are, and what tribe they're from, pertaining to what the Holy Bible says. All right, when you study the people of this world, anthropology or whatever you want to call it, all right, and you do a process of elimination on people and filter it through the scriptures, then you get a clearer understanding on who's who, according to the 12 tribes chart that we have, as the scriptures pretty much gives you these clues and puzzling pieces to put together. All right, and that's all through the spirit, man. The Lord has to be dealing with you in the spirit, and we bring out facts as well, man. Because we're not just contrary to what you believe about the Israelites. We're not just a bunch of vexed people that go out there on the corners to curse people out, man, and scream at people all day, man. Now we're some real biblical scholars back here, man. We do tons of research. All right, we're not just experts in the Bible, but we study geography. Okay, we study history. We do plenty of studying, man. All right, but most importantly, the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah got us dealing with prophecy because of the times that we're living in. We're living in the time of prophecy, man. All right, and we're expecting the Lord to bring back a righteous kingdom. Okay, because the rate that this world is going, this whole planet will be destroyed, man, if this devil was to continue in rulership. Okay, but the movie Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, it's a dope movie. I checked it out. I kind of had biased feelings towards it when I first seen the trailers and the commercials about it, because I'm not big up on women being superheroes and such, because that's the fantasy part of things. But nonetheless, the movie was pretty good, well put together. But you got to expect certain shit like that in Hollywood, man. And besides that, Ryan Coogler, who's a Jake, he's a hell of a director, man. I got to give him his props. He directed the first Black Panther, all right, and he did this one as well, and he did a good job, man. Okay, but going into the tribe of Zebulun, because it definitely shows the tribe of Zebulun in this movie. All right, so I want to go into the scriptures to prove who Zebulun is according to the Bible. All right. This is I'm gonna read Genesis 49:1, and then I'm going to jump to the point afterwards. All right. This is Genesis chapter 49 verse 1. It says, "And Jacob called unto his sons and said, Gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days." Okay. So Jacob, who's the father of the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, all right, through his 12 sons, he gathered them together and told them what will befall them in the last days, the things that were going to happen to them in the last days. All right. And when you jump down to verse 13, he speaks to his son Zebulun. All right. He says, Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships, and his border shall be unto Zidon. Okay. So Zebulun shall be a haven, shall dwell at the haven of the sea, and he shall be for a haven of ships. All right. Now, the tribe of Zebulun are you Central American Indians from Guatemala unto Panama, which basically makes up the whole peninsula of Central America. Okay. All right. Where the ancient Mayan civilization was at. It was, it was the big cities were mostly based in Guatemala, but along that whole peninsula, you had the Mayan civilization, people of Mayan Indian descent. Okay, which that's the reason why they were called Maya, the Maya civilization, because like I stated earlier, the word Maya means water. Okay, that's why it says Zebulun shall dwell at the haven of the sea. Okay, so the word Maya, which actually means water, is omen in a sense to what would befall the tribe of Zebulun and where they would dwell at. Because when you look on the ancient world map in Israel, which I have, the tribe of Zebulun didn't dwell nowhere near the sea coast. Okay, this is the ancient map of the division of the tribes in ancient Israel. And point right there, this is Zebulun. There's no sea coast around Zebulun. Okay, they don't live nowhere near the Mediterranean Sea. All right, they don't live nowhere near the Jordan River or anything like that. So they didn't dwell around water. Okay, so this is what happened to them in the last days, the days that we're in now. All right, when the 10 tribes came over here to the Americas and divided the Americas by lot, according to what parts of the land that they would inherit. And it's spiritual that the Mayans settled in the Central American region, okay, from Guatemala into Panama. All right, it says, and he shall be for a haven of ships. Now we all know that the Panama Canal is world famous, man. Okay, for being a canal that basically divides North and South America. Okay, it's a canal that basically connects the Gulf of Mexico to the Pacific Ocean, which cuts the travel time for merchant ships to reach from the eastern coast of the Americas to the western coast of the Americas. Because without that canal, ships would have to detour all the way around the borders of South America and travel back upward along the Pacific. Okay, so there's heavy ship traffic over there, man, in the Panama Canal, and we know that for a fact. Even when the United States was supposed to give back the canal to the Panamanians, they refused to do so, man. Okay, they refused to do so. All right. So it says, "And his border shall be unto Zidon." Okay, now check this out. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 33, verse 18. It says, "And of Zebulun he said, Rejoice, Zebulun, in thy going out, and Issachar in thy tents." All right, because Issachar and Zebulun are real close tribes. You see, when the Lord made the 12 tribes, right? You had some tribes that were closer with each other than they were with the other tribes. case in point, you had Ephraim and Manasseh. They were tight with each other. You had Reuben and Gad. They were tight with each other. Benjamin and Levi were tight with each other. Okay? You know, a lot of them share borders right next to each other. All right? And Issachar is the Mexicans, so-called Mexicans. Okay? You Mexicans, you Mexicans who make up the Aztec Empire, which the Aztec Empire and the Mayan Empire are very close to each other, man. Okay? So it says they shall call the people unto the mountain, there they shall offer sacrifices of righteousness, for they shall suck of the abundance of the seas and of the treasures hid in the sands, in the sand. Okay? So there you go, there you have it. That sea border, them coastal borders, man. All right. And when you look in the map, when you look at Mexico, the southern part of Mexico is right next to Central America. That's where Central America starts. Okay. So you have up there in Guatemala where you have the Mayan civilization, and down there in southern Mexico you have the Aztec civilization, okay, or empire, and they share culture. They have a shared culture with one another. All right. When you read this is First Chronicles chapter 12 verse 32, it says and of the children of Issachar, which were men that had understanding of the times, to know what Israel ought to do. Okay. Now, let me read that again. It says, and of the children of Issachar, which is you so-called Mexicans, Azteca Indians, all right, which were men that had understanding of the times. Okay. Now, remember back in 2012, a lot of people, people believing that 2012 was going to be the end of the world according to whose calendar? The Aztec calendar. Not only did the Aztecs have a calendar, but also the Mayans had a calendar, all right, that was loosely one and the same with the Aztec calendar. Why? Because Issachar and Zebulun are very close tribes, and their empires were their civilizations were pretty close to each other, man. All right, like I said, the Aztec Empire was based more so in southern Mexico. In the Mayan civilization, empire was based more up there in Guatemala. All right, when you look at on a map at Guatemala, that's the northern part of the peninsula of Central America. Okay, and when you look at Panama is more on the southern tip of that peninsula. Okay, it says to know what Israel ought to do. All right, so they had understanding of the times. All right, they were stargazers. You know, they used to read the heavens. Okay, the constellations of the heavens. Okay, to know what Israel ought to do. You know, whether we should go to war, whether we should withhold going to war. You know, and everything works hand in hand. You know, you had the prophets that would receive visions from the Most High, or receive instructions from the Most High to declare whether we should go to war or fall back from going to war. Okay, and Issachar also was able to read the constellations and get that kind of insight. All right. It says the heads of them were 200, and all their brethren were at their commandment. Of Zebulun, such as went forth to battle, expert in war, with all instruments of war, 50,000 which could keep rank. They were not of double heart. All right. You look at Zebulun. First of all, the whole nation of Israel got some heavy warriors, man. All right. Particularly the tribe of Gad and Reuben. All right. When you look at Zebulun, who were experts in war, and you can see that in Zebulun, right, by the way they slaughter each other off, man. You know, one of the biggest and most feared street gangs come from out of the tribe of Zebulun, which is MS-13. Okay, which is because El Salvador is Zebulonites. You El Salvadorians, you Nicaraguans, Costa Ricans, all right, you Guatemalans, okay, you Hondurans, and you Panamanians, you're all Israelites of the tribe of Zebulun. Now, like I said, you have MS-13, which they are ruthless, a ruthless gang, man. You know, of course, Israel is under these curses, you know. So, they deal with gang warfare, and the instruments of war that they usually use is shit like the machete, all right, where they hacking each other up, man. Now imagine if you was to unite and take that war to the true enemy, man. Okay, which is the so-called white man in the heathen nations, not your own brothers. Okay, if you was to take that energy and that spirit and unite yourselves, man, and bring that war to your true oppressor, which is the so-called white man, how deadly and terrorizing and fearful you would be in the eyes of your enemies. Okay, but this all further proves that you are the Israelites, you so-called Mexicans, and you so-called Central American Indians. All right, okay. Now, like I said, man, I checked out that movie Wakanda Forever. The Black Panther Wakanda Forever, and they straight up and down showed you, man, that how the so-called white man colonized, basically enslaved the Mayans, the Mayan Indians, and took over that land, colonized it, all right. And you had Namor when he was a little kid. I'm showing you what happened in the movie. So this is what you call it, I forgot what you call it when you tell the movie, all right. But so if you want to go check the movie, I'll go check the movie out. But there's a part in the movie where the so-called white man colonized the Mayans in Namor when he was a young kid. He just came into his power or whatever, realized that he had spiritual power and everything. He came up and seen the so-called white man enslaving his people, man, and doing his people injustly. Okay, the Mayan Indians, all right, and he rose up against them, man. Okay, he rose up against them, and he promised to protect his people. Which they lived in the sea. They gotta put the Hollywood spin on things, man. They lived in the sea. They were able to breathe water, and they had a city down, a paradise city called what was it called? I forgot what you call it. What was it called? Talakan, in which Talakan, I actually looked it up. Talakan Talakan was an Aztec paradise. Okay, it goes back to Aztec mythology. All right, so it was considered an Aztec paradise, which the Aztecs are the Mexicans, so-called Mexicans. Like I said, the Mexicans in Central American Indians, the Mayans, the Aztecs and the Mayans, they had very shared culture, okay? Because they were closest among the tribes with each other, all right? So, so the movie, it shows all of that, man. It shows all of that. And there's a scripture I want to get. Oh, yeah, this is Revelation chapter 3, verse 18, okay? Because when we watch movies with a spiritual eye, man. We see everything, man. The Lord opened our third eye, and we basically able to be circumspect and analyze everything and filter it through the scriptures as we supposed to, okay? Because we supposed to live by the word of the Most High, all right? That's what Yahweh Shah told Satan, right? Man doesn't live by bread alone, but by the word that proceeded out of the Most High's mouth. Okay. This is Revelation chapter 3, verse 18. It says, I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed. All right. Yeah. So we go through our trials and tribulations, and the Lord will in turn bless us with white raiment, which represents our purification. Okay. It says, and that the shame of thy nakedness do not appear. Yeah, so our sins will be covered, man. Okay? Through the blood, mercy, and grace of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. Through Yahweh Shah shedding his blood on the cross is the reason why our sins are covered. those of you who are of the elect. Okay? It's only through the Most High's grace, through Yahweh Shah's grace, that we are able to be blameless before the Most High. Okay? Because there's certain sins that we can't help, that we can't actually keep in this society, man. But reading on, it says, and anoint thine eyes with eye salve that thou mayest see. Yeah, so anoint thy eyes with eye salve that thou mayest see. See? Now, when most people are watching these movies for entertainment purposes, they're not paying attention to the hidden undertones of these movies, man. Okay? In which the elites know about it. These so-called Jews who run Hollywood and executive produce most of these big Hollywood flicks, they know about it, okay? Because they're well studied in the Torah and the Talmud as they delve into and all of that. But they see what the average person cannot see. And through the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, we see it as well, man. Okay? So, when I checked out that the movie Wakanda Forever, Black Panther Part 2, I seen the strong references that it was making towards the Mayan people, and I understand how the Mayans go back to the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, particularly the tribe of Zebulun. All right, it says, and anoint thy eyes with eye salve that thou mayest see. All right. So what is eye salve? Is saline, like a cleaning solution, so you can see things clearly when you watch these movies. Okay. When you watch these documentaries, when you read books, okay, you have to be able to see things clearly. That's what the Lord is saying. All right. So, hopefully you brothers and sisters were edified. I'm going to end this video on that note, man. Shalom to you brothers and sisters out there, man. And like I said, I'll say it once more. You so-called Mexicans, you so-called Central American Indians from Guatemala to Panama, you make up the tribes of Issachar and Zebulun of the nation of Israel. The so-called black man in America is your brother. Okay? The so-called Puerto Ricans are your brother. The so-called Dominicans are your brother. Okay? The North American Indians, they're your brother. The South American Indians are your brother. Okay? All right? So the Lord is bringing back all 12 tribes of the nation of Israel, waking them up and making us a collective force through the Spirit. To do what? To eventually deliver us and bring us back to a righteous kingdom, man. Where we can be in harmony in serving our power, Yahweh and His Son, Yahweh Shah. All right? So I'm going to end this video on that note. Say Shalom wa barakum to you, brothers. Lord willing, I'll see you in the next one. Shalom.